This is Web Suspect, and I'm going to make a track. And my track is that people keep asking Wozniak, and a lot of people have opinions about whether or not Edward Snowden is a hero, what he did. There's a really good... I'm near NSA, and this is a hot topic around here. There's a local TV show that you can look up about these tracks. I'm going to generate a track, which is what to say if somebody ever asked you do you think Edward Snowden's a hero? And you can say yes or I don't know. But here's a better response, because all that's fading out of the news, is this TV show. At the end they say that William Snowden took 1.7 million documents, and there's an audit at NSA, which I didn't know about the NSA, but all the top secret documents are audited. So how did he acquire these 1.7 million documents? And why did he flee to Russia and China? That just kind of creates a veil of guilt. Why would you run away if you're guilty? I had something happen and I stood trial, and I had my day in court, and I spent the night in jail. I didn't run away from my problems. And sometimes we'd all like to, but guilty people don't run away. And who was this character? He worked for NSA as a contractor for 1 or 3 months, and then all of a sudden he's got access to millions of top secret documents. It smells like an op. So a track is just basically, just like a pre-planned statement. Some people like them, some people don't. But I want you to think about this, okay? These are 4. I'm going to give you names of 4 NSA whistleblowers. They've all been exonerated for releasing top secret classified information about NSA spying on the American people. Now, why should you be concerned about spying on American people? Well, the Fourth Amendment says that you have a right in your home as an American citizen that all your personal private effects are personal. The government's not allowed to look at that shit. And there's ways, if you really know computers, to say, no, I don't want you. You're not my mommy, daddy. What I do is not your fucking business. So I don't really get ugly. I'm going to say that now, government. My own personal shit's not your fucking business. Go about your fucking day and mind your own fucking business. So that being said, that was kind of rude. I'm in a pissy mood today, so forgive me. I'm going to give you the names of these 4 NSA whistleblowers. Somebody says, do you think Edward Snowden's a hero? Blah, blah, blah. Yes, no, maybe so. Maybe not. You can say yes. If you think he's a hero, you say yes. But here's 4 NSA whistleblowers who release classified information on the government spying on private individuals. This has been going on for 20 years. People in the telecom industries, computers know all about it. Or suspect, and then they research it and they find out it's true. Okay, these are 2 programs. One's called Trailblazer, and a lot of people with an amazing memory use mnemonics. It's a memory trick to remember things. You remember in the old days we had Trailblazers. They went across the country. The Clark expedition, Lewis and Clark, they were Trailblazers. So the name the program was Trailblazer. Trailblazer was the United States national security program intended to develop a capability to analyze data carried on communications networks like internet. It was intended to track entities using communications methods such as cell phones and emails. I don't care about Monograph. I don't give a fuck who you are, Monograph. I don't believe any of this bullshit about Mission 909 or Upper State. Don't care. These are the facts. Another one's called Fast Thread. I don't have that on my screen right now. Or Thin Thread. Thin Thread and Trailblazer. These are the names of the 4 NSA people who were whistleblowers. J. Kirk Wiebe, W-I-E-B-E. William Binney, he's the most infamous one. He's been on a lot of TV shows around here. Ed Loomis, and House Permanent Secretary Committee on Intelligence staffer Diane Rourke, O-R-A-R-K-E, complained to the Department of Defense Inspector General IG about waste, fraud, and abuse in the program and the fact that a successful operating prototype existed. Government contracts. Hey, We want to waste more money, broaden our spectrum, get in everybody's business, and we'll need more hard drives, more CPUs. We don't care. We're the government. We're not allowed to do this, but we can spend more money. We'll do whatever we want. A successful operating prototype existed, but was ignored when the Trailblazer program was launched. Might have been Carnivore. The complaint was accepted by IG and investigation began and lasted until 2005 when final results were issued. The results were largely hidden, as the report given to the public was heavily 90% redacted, while the original report was sanitized. Heavily classified, thus restricted the ability of most people to see it because it was sanitized. The people who filed the IG complaint were later raided by Armed Federal Bureau of Investigations. Can you imagine having FBI come to your house with guns and pull guns on your kids? While the government threatened to prosecute while your neighbors watched, all who signed the IG report ultimately chose to pursue the NSA's senior executive, Thomas Andrews Drake, needed a scapegoat, who helped with the report internally to NSA and who had spoken with a reporter about the project. Drake was later charged under the Espionage Act of 1917. His defenders claimed that was retaliation, because it was. The charges against him were later dropped, and he agreed to plead guilty to having committed a misdemeanor under the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, something that Jesselyn Redneck of the Government Accountability Project, which helped represent him, called an act of civil disobedience. So what was this about? The government was already spying. They already had a spy program, but they wanted a bigger program, waste money, bigger contracts, more hard drives like they just did in Utah. Remember that big data center built in Utah? Because the power grid in Maryland can't support the type of operations they want to do with hard drives and computers and spying on everything everybody does. They don't have approval of congressional authority to do it. They had Bush sign something called a FISA bill, Phone Intercept Wiretap Authorization Act, to make it legal, but it's unconstitutional. So that's it. Excuse my language today. I'm in a pissy bad mood. I'm not a millionaire. I got my own personal issues to deal with. People say this is falling out of the, off the radar. People don't care about Edward Snowden, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'd really hate to think if this is true, that somebody would get him in Russia or something. You just kind of wonder. It could be true. I mean, it's probably not. But, like I said, forgive my poor choice of language today. I'm cranky. I'm a working class person. I'm not a millionaire. I have health issues sometimes. But that's 4 people. J. Kirk Wybe, William Bedney, Ed Loomis, and House Select Committee on staff for Diane Rourke. And the programs were called Trailblazer and Thin Thread, and they have other programs like Tempest, and you can do some research on pathways to development and bit software and algorithms. Supposedly they have a lot of systems that can kind of analyze that and make a pathway. Tor kind of gets into that, whether they infiltrated Tor or kind of created it. I mean, there's probably a lot of computer people out there could make a better algorithm encryption thing on their own. They'd be worried about that. If I was a company, I'd just develop my own stuff. But that's the thing. Is Edward Snowden a hero? I mean, put what you think below. Do you think Edward Snowden is a hero? I mean, he could be, but I don't think he is. But there's 4 people who were whistleblowers and worked for NSA and said the government was spending tons of money spying on the American people. The programs worked, but they wanted to spend more money. It's like one of the things, if we don't use the budget this year, then we won't get this money next year, so we got to spend it all now.